Hey guys, so welcome to Mindful Mondays. You're probably wondering, what are you doing here on a Monday? Well, Mindful Mondays is a show slash segment where I'll stop by for a few minutes and I'm going to give you some actionable advice to start the week off. You can apply it right away to your life, or maybe you can just ponder upon it just for a little bit in the near future. So every Monday, join me and let's get our minds ready to tackle what the week has in store for us. We never know what the week is going to bring. So this week, I want to talk to you about the fact that hard work works. So I want to start with a quote that I stumbled upon of Martin Luther King Jr. And it says, if a man is called a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that the host of heaven and earth will pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. Again, this is a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. And when I saw this, I was questioning my purpose, my work ethic. I was really questioning if all the hard work that I've been putting was even worth it. And I'm wondering if any of you all have felt this way or even currently feel this way right now. Most of us are working a regular 9 to 5. We're making ends meet. And sometimes it just feels like this time is going nowhere. We're putting all this work for nothing. Like we're hamsters running on a wheel going nowhere. Other times it feels like there's nothing to live for anymore. And I've been there as well, where you just have no hope and you're like, why am I still here? What am I doing on this earth if I just have to go to a 9 to 5? Or if I'm just working for my business that's really not making much profit, or I'm just living paycheck to paycheck. Well, I'm here on this Monday to tell you that it's time to change your mindset. I changed my mindset back in 2017 and it has changed my life completely, like a complete 180. Now, does that mean that I'm out here now worry free and I'm living my best millionaire life? Hell no. But when I take a step back to those dark days and look back at where I am now compared to where I was then, every time I say to myself, and I have to remind myself, hard work works. So let's set some goals, some small, some a little bit bigger, some short term, some long term. They say that you can overestimate what you can accomplish in a year, but you can also underestimate what you can accomplish in 15 years. Well, let me tell you that I'm going to shoot for the moon. And if anything fails, I'll probably just land on a star. And I'm okay with that. Growing and bettering yourself is an everyday task. It's not overnight. And I want you all to join me if you can in any way with what I'm actually starting today. So I've talked about it a little bit on social media and I want to now put it out there. Today is January 6th and I start my 21-day fast. I personally chose to give up TV. So Netflix and Hulu and all that good stuff to be exact. Just thinking about it right now, like this morning, I wanted to finish a show and I'm like, I never got to finish it. So now I have to wait 21 days. I'm going to do it as part as my church's fast. But I also decided that it's a great way for me to be able to focus on what I need to do with my business in order to grow and within myself as well. So if you're not religious, don't worry. I'm not going to sit here just because I started going back to church. I'm going to turn you into this like Bible thumper. That's not me anyway. But we're about to put in some hard and dedicated work for at least 21 days. And I really, really want you to join me. So put in the work. Success and change doesn't happen overnight. So like I said, I not only myself, not you. I not only want to get closer to God and work on my relationship with Him spiritually, but I need to cut out the clutter and the noise and nonsense from around me to also be able to focus on what will grow me and my business. We all have that one thing that we spend either too much time doing, a coffee routine perhaps that costs you a pretty penny at the end of the month. I know I used to have that with Starbucks at one point. Then I switched to Wawa and then I was like, listen, I just got to make my own coffee at home. So when you tally it up, you're like, I need to cut this out. Or maybe you want to actually do a fast where you give up food or a certain amount of time or just a certain food, you know? You have to replace this habit now with something that you're trying to accomplish. So you can't just say, I'm going to stop eating carbs and then load on sweets. Or you can't say like me, I'm going to, stop watching Netflix, but I'm going to get on the computer and spend hours watching YouTube. No, that's not the way it works. You have to replace it with something that's that's going to get you to your goal of what you want to do. And it has to be something that, is kind of going to hurt you hurt you a little bit. So I challenge you to do this with me starting the day you listen to this episode. Hopefully it's today the 6th, but you can do it at any time, and it's for 21 days. I know you have heard that it takes 21 days to start a habit, and this is your chance to start a habit that can catapult you to the next level with hard work, and that's what I'm trying to do. Every time I reach new levels, I'm like, okay, what's next and what's next? So I've already reached a level that I have to go to the next one. It's not the level of where I want to end up. I really don't know where I want to end up, but I know when I look back to a year ago, this is way higher than I thought I would be. A quick example recently of this is one of my alumni of Idea to Launch podcast, the intensive course that I do. Claire, she's the host of Relationships podcast. And from the moment she enrolled, I knew she was going to be dedicated and ready to put in the work. She showed up literally every single week for 5 weeks for our live chats. She messaged me whenever she had a question. She used every single resource that I provided to her as a student to the course, and she put in that work. So she had been waiting to launch a show but needed help and guidance. So she took and invested in herself, and she took her investment so serious that within the second week, she charted in Germany iTunes charts. Now, she's half German, so that's actually pretty cool, although she doesn't speak German on the show or anything like that. And then the next week, she charted in the top 100 in the US. You guys don't understand how hard and how much dedication it takes to chart in the US. But again, hard work works. If you're dedicated and you put in the work, you'll see the results. I worked my ass off when I started Shit I'm 30 in March 2018. And every time I ranked in the charts, the feeling that I would get, you can't even describe, because it was just like you can see that your hard work was paying. Now, to know that I put in hard work to teach others to do exactly what I did proves to me yet again that hard work works. It's just every time I turn left and I turn right, it's like, that's like my new thing. It's like hard work works. When I'm slacking, I can tell. When I'm putting in the work, I can also tell. So today, while you're at work, or maybe it's your day off, kids are still home from school, at least mine is, I want you to quickly grab a piece of paper, or maybe the notes app on your phone. But I've been into this like writing on paper lately. And I want you to write down these 5 words. Decide on 3 things that you want to accomplish this year. So write down 3 things. That can be big or that can be small, but 1 to 3 things. And write down these 5 words. By this time next year, and finish the sentence. Again, by this time next year, and finish the sentence. Set yourself a goal for a month. Start with January, then move on to February, etc. Don't overwhelm yourself, but know that you're going to put in hard work this year. So this time next year, you'll look back and prove to yourself that your hard work worked. Now, I'm going to tell you mine, so I'll start. And mine is, by this time next year, I want to have started my own family and for my business to triple the income from 2019. Literally, that is my sentence. By this time next year, I want to have started my own family and for my business to triple the income in 2019. These are huge things. And I have to do things maybe every week, every day, every month to accomplish this by the time I reach January 2021. This is putting myself out there with my goals for this year. So if you see me doing some BS on social media, which I know y'all follow me, call me out. I'm making a post on the podcast page actually. And if you're really ready to commit with me to change, go to the Mindful Monday post that I'm going to post and finish your sentence there. Now you're going public with your goal. So by this time next year, and write down what your goal is for next year. We're an amazing community. I literally call you guys all my friends, and I love the way you all hold me and each other accountable. So let's work together and push each other. I know people that have listened to this podcast that have become friends. You guys just literally talk to each other, and you're like, hey, I'm doing this. I would love to work with you to do that. Let's hold each other accountable. Accountability is huge, especially at our age. We need someone to hold us accountable because we're not necessarily in high school anymore where we have teachers and friends all the time. We're out of our parents' house. We're dealing with so much that we always need that one person to say, hey, are you keeping up with what you're supposed to be doing? Now, I want to make sure that I let you guys know that tonight at midnight is the last chance to register for Idea to Launch Intensive course with me. I opened up 5 more spots for anyone that's been doubting their ability or just questioning if they should even start their own podcast. Listen, we all have a story to tell. Y'all know me so well by now because I have chosen to speak my truth and be completely transparent. I have been able to help so many women and men just speaking on this microphone that I'm speaking on right now. Like literally it's plugged into my computer and it's just me in my room, about what I've gone through and continue to go through. I have things that I'm going through on a daily basis. My struggles 2 years ago are not my struggles today, but they keep going and I keep resonating with someone else, someone new. So your story matters. You are an expert at something. Trust me. There's so many people right now on a train ride, driving to work, maybe sitting at their desk at work, or even taking a walk, waiting to hear from someone they can relate to. I know a woman who experienced a miscarriage, and she began a podcast to tell her story and to speak about her pain. And she immediately realized she was not alone, which we know women have miscarriages all the time. And it's a very sad moment. But now she has a really popular podcast where she speaks to other women about their own personal struggle with miscarriages. And that's something that I cannot relate to, but so many others does. And she's making a difference within that community. Now, you might be the best baker, or you love to talk about politics. Maybe you can break down music better than anybody else. So that's just your passion. If you have a business, this is also your chance to reach an entire new audience and sell your service or products. Just don't be afraid to push the envelope and try something new because of others' opinions. That will hold you back forever. Now, click on the link on the description and you can watch the replay of my live webinar all about launching your podcast in 30 days, or the link to the course and, get more information about it. So again, today is the last day before the course is offered as a self-paced course without a weekly live chat with me. So if you want to join that, make sure you do so by tonight at midnight. And this is it for this week's Mindful Monday. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to tweet me what you thought at Carla Wilmaris. Share with your friends. Tag me on social media. I love to see who's listening and hear your thoughts on what you heard. Make sure that if you haven't rated and subscribed to the show, you do so. It helps so much. It doesn't cost you a thing but 60 seconds of your time, and I will forever be grateful for you. Now, this is a new Monday, a new week with new goals, and it is a good day to have a good day. Don't forget that a new episode of Shit I'm 30 releases tomorrow, and we're going to be joined by the one and only Passport Cuddy. So I'll see you next week for another Mindful Monday.